Tough teaching number 2, Jesus has the right to ask you to suffer for him. Let's keep reading. You will be hated by everyone because of me, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. When you're persecuted in one place, flee to another. Truly, I tell you, you will not finish going through the cities of Israel before the Son of Man comes. The student is not above the teacher, nor a servant above his master. It is enough for students to be like their teachers and servants to be like their masters. If the head of the house has been called Beelzebub, which is just slang for Satan, and you'll find that out in Matthew chapter 12. If Jesus has been called Satan himself, how much more the members of his household? The first thing Jesus hints at here is that, of course, we should suffer for the right thing. We should suffer for the sake of Jesus, for his name. It doesn't make any sense to talk about suffering for our own stupidity. Jesus is saying, suffering for the sake of my name. So if we get that straight, then we want to look at why Jesus says it's right for us to expect to suffer. And the argument is very simple. The line of reasoning is very simple. The servant is not greater than the master, right? And if the master experiences suffering and rejection, and the servant is following the master, then the servant's experiences are going to match the experiences of the master. Now, the most troubling and unsettling thing for us as we read this is, what do you do with Christians who don't ever seem to experience any suffering for their faith? Has that thought ever really troubled you? It really troubles me. Suffering isn't a normal experience in my day-to-day life. Now, it could be that I've never experienced suffering for Jesus because I'm actually trying to avoid it in my life, and I don't realize it. Maybe I actually consider suffering for my faith to be beneath my dignity somehow. That's the definition of entitlement, isn't it? That's an insidious brand of Christian entitlement that creates cowardice in our faith. I mean, I could try to shrug that off and just say, I know really strong Christians in other places of the world. They're the ones who are suffering for their faith. God's calling those special people to that. He just hasn't got around to calling me to that yet. That's just not the truth. I'm just avoiding it. That's how I think. I have to remind myself I'm a follower of Jesus. I'm not above suffering for him. Sometime this week, I want to give you the opportunity to reflect on this and think about it. Take a few minutes this week and ask yourself the question, am I into Christian entitlement? Am I infected with this attitude that I don't deserve to suffer? Ask yourself some questions like this. What makes you mad? What kind of things set off your anger? Are they the kinds of things that Jesus cares about? Or are they the kinds of things that just get in your way and make life more inconvenient for you? Do you ever struggle feeling like you want things to be personally more rewarding than they seem to be? It could be that you have entitlement in your attitude. Do you ever say things like, I don't deserve this. This should have never happened to me in the first place? Maybe entitlement is not too far away from you. Maybe you said, I don't understand why God didn't come through for me when I needed him to. I just can't deal with unanswered prayer. Friends, sometimes God cannot develop the character that he wants to in you without allowing persecution to come into your life. It's the only way. Jesus wants your skin in the game. He doesn't want you just sitting on the sideline. If Jesus demands that we get in there and take hits for him then, well, surely he's got to equip us somehow for that, right? So how are we going to respond when we do actually take heat for our faith? It turns out that Jesus has a lot of good stuff for us in the passage. Let's read some more. So do not be afraid of them, for there is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, nothing hidden that will not be made known. What I tell you in the dark, speak in the daylight. What is whispered in your ear, proclaim from the roofs. Do not be afraid of those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather, be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and body in hell. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground outside your Father's care. And even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. So don't be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows.